Cheers, Squaffers, Godless Scummer, and all other good people out there. Hopswatch here, and welcome back to another segment of my series, A Beer With, tonight with no one less than Craig McNeil, also known as Fight the Flat Earth. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. Ecstatic to be here and have a beer with someone who's been supporting my channel for so long, and I'm awesome to see their channel doing so well.
Thank you, thank you. So, just a couple of things to go through before we start our little conversation, which is I am also happy to welcome in the chat a lot of great people, and also notably Godless Scummer. Godless Scummer is going to modify the chat. So if there are any trolls or people like that, Godless Scummer. Jeff Breeze is his actual name, but he will be there, Godless Scummer. He will give you a fair warning, and if you don't understand a fair warning, he will eventually kick you. So be aware of him. But also, if you have questions for FTFE, tag Godless Scummer, and he will and he'll make sure that I know about the questions later on. So. There's that. Also, tonight we've had some absolutely horrible weather here in Denmark, where I'm sitting. We've actually had a couple of thunderstorms during the day, and also this evening, which meant that about an hour ago, my broadband connection went down, and luckily it's back. But I also got a notification on a text message that the connection will actually not be back until 11 o'clock, so that'll be in 3 hours. So there could be another fallout. If it happens, I'll get back as quickly as I can, see if I can do it via a mobile hotspot or whatever, just so people are aware that if I'm suddenly leaving, I don't think it will be because we disagree on anything substantial. It's simply my internet connection, which may be a little bit dodgy tonight.
So you're saying you're getting broadband from the future?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. That could be that.
It's not ready till 11, but it's 8 where you are. So technically you're getting broadband from the future. I'd like to congratulate you on this amazing discovery.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. We I should describe this and see if I can publish it into the paper or anything. On to the more important stuff. Craig, what are you having?
I'm not a massive drinker, honestly, which means that I tend to like the stuff with flavor. So I'm going for some cider, some Kopparberg, some mixed fruit, which basically tastes like, diluting juice because I'm a big baby. Although if I am going to drink, it'd be my wife and I usually having some tequila together. But I've never been a massive fan of beer, to be honest. But coming from the West Country, Bristol in England, cider is part of my blood. And in fact, everyone from West Country, their blood is 36% cider. So obviously drinking cider is quite natural to me.
Wow, 36%. There's this popular Danish movie which was made last year called Another Round, and the idea there is that you have to be. That the human being is created with 0.05 proof of alcohol too little in the blood. And so basically the movie is they try to compensate for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But not 36%. That sounds a bit excessive.
Well, no, it has to be. You're not actually classed as West Country if your blood's not at least 36% cider. Any less than that, and you're not actually from the West Country.
But anyway, I don't mind about people not drinking beer because then that means that's more beer for me. So
yeah, always good.
That's
I feel the same with most food. If someone's on a diet or a vegan or a vegetarian, I'm like, cool, I get more steak.
Yes, absolutely. So I am having an IPA, a Danish IPA. This came out from, I think it only came out a couple of weeks ago. It's nothing special. It's just an industrial IPA for consumption and for enjoying. So I'm going to have one, maybe two of these. I have to get up very, very early tomorrow to work. I actually work, so I'll keep it simple and a bit low key, laid back, whatever. So is that actually your favorite cider, or do you have another one which is your absolute favorite?
No, I quite like fruity ones, especially mixed fruits like berry ones. Like I am a big girl, you know. It has to taste of fruit and not alcohol, really.
Have you ever tried any sour Belgian fruit beers? Kriek, for example.
No, I have not, but I would probably enjoy that. I did remember there was a beer I used to get that was it was a pale ale, but they brewed it with strawberries, and it tasted like beer, but with like an aftertaste of the strawberries and cream little sweets that you would get. And it was quite pleasant. See, I don't mind that. I've got to be a girly drink, you know. I'm the one that would get to the bar and order something fruity. Everyone else just look at me in disgust.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I don't really believe. I mean, if that's what people want, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. I couldn't care less whether people would call it girly or whatever. And I do enjoy my fruit beers as well, especially the Belgian ones. And
it'll get you drunk.
Yeah, but it also tastes well, and I can drink most beers really. So I have some preferences. I do like it bitter, and I do like it fresh.
So if you're going to go for hard alcohol liquor, what would you go for? Like I said, my wife and I would drink tequila together quite often. It's kind of our drink whenever we just feel like having finally the kids are in bed, let's have a quick tequila. And that's kind of our go-to thing. So what about you? Are you whiskey, rum, tequila? What do you like?
I'd say whiskey. Used to be a bit of a whiskey guy back when I was playing the bagpipe, and I also at the time, now they're all gone. I had a bit of a collection of different Scots malts, and what I really liked were the really peaty smoked ones from Islay. Or something that was very, very smooth. One from the Glasgow area called Glengoyne was my absolute favourite. It's absolutely smooth. It's not roasted over peat. It's actually roasted over natural gas, and that it doesn't really touch your tongue. It just hovers over it and releases flavour. It's an absolute fantastic experience to try that.
My family originates from an island off the coast of Scotland called the Isle of Barra, and the McMillan have got their own whiskey, and I've tried it. And I mean, the only thing I could compare it with is to the smell of paint thinner. It's the kind of whiskey that cleans your insides when you drink it. It's that kind of whiskey.
Wow,
that's the kind of whiskey that I enjoy. If I'm going to have a whiskey, I like to have the one where you it's smooth. You can't breathe much after it. A lot of time spent in the Navy meant that rum became something that I drank quite a lot.
Ah, right. So there's still a tradition for drinking rum in the Navy.
Yeah, they're quite often on celebration occasions, like a royal's birthday or something. Whether you're on your ship or you're in a base training, they'd have the Rum Days where, if you were over 18, when you got to the mess hall for your dinner, you'd also get to have your nip of rum, which is a glass of rum. But it would be the equivalent of 4 or 5 shots, is what they call a nip. And you've got to stand there, you've got to do your salute, and you've got to down this thing in front of all the officers that are handing out the rum to the lower ranks. And it was funny because a lot of people had never really drank rum before, and you get the new recruits who were just getting there for the first time. Like, oh yeah, we get this big shot of rum given to us, and they'd get there and they realize that they've got to do what is essentially like 5 decent sized shots in one gulp, and
wow,
there'd be a bucket because so many of them would throw up afterwards.
Oh goodness! Yeah, so you were in the Navy.
Yeah,
and you actually know how to navigate a submarine. Am I right?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, as a submariner, you are expected to know how to operate every station aboard the submarine. whether it's your specialty or not. I mean, I wasn't a navigator. That wasn't my role on board a submarine. I was an engineer specifically looking after the nuclear reactor. But you had to know how to do every job. So yeah, I did learn the basics around navigating the submarine using the instrumentation that you have, and the mapping systems that they have. And I did also have to calculate fuel for if we had to use our diesel reserves or anything. So
wow.
Yeah, learning how to do that. One of the things that you learn quite quickly is that there's no way the Earth could be flat. The navigation that you have to do, when you look at it on a flat map, if you plan it out, even if you are planning to go in a complete straight line, if you plan it out on a flat map, if you're south of the equator, it'll always be like a smiley face, and if you're north of the equator, it would always be a frowny face. That's how if you plan it out and then you put it on the map, it would always look that way because of the fact that the Earth's a sphere. And if you're trying to put it onto a flat map, that's the way it would work out. So doing that, there's no way. You get people that say, I was in the Navy and I think the Earth's flat. No, you weren't. If you were in the Navy and you got past basic training, you don't think the Earth is flat.
No, I could imagine. I really like the what you told about the smiley face and the frowny face.
Yeah.
Is that something that just comes from navigating automatically, or do you actually have to remember? Oh, now I'm north of the equator, frowny face.
It would just always be the way. If you were like, for instance, navigating a plot to go from the south of the equator to north of the equator, you'd end up with like an S curve mapped out because of the way that it was going based on the straight line, and it would make sense because if it's on the globe, that's a straight line. But then if you map that onto a flat plane with concentric circles getting smaller towards the poles, but you can't do that on a flat, then it ends up being a curve. And it shows that even though you've gone in a straight line based on what you've planned the submarine to do, you map it out on a flat map and it shows a curve. And there's only one reason that would happen.
Yes, of course, that the Earth is a sphere.
Yeah, absolutely. I see Robert X in the chat says, I couldn't be on a submarine. It would drive me insane. It's not as isolating as people think, really, especially when you're relatively new. There's so much to learn. There's so much to do. There's a lot of camaraderie. You become very, very close with people. There's lots of entertainment. There's places to exercise. The galley's pretty much always open. I never really experienced, and I didn't really meet many people that did, the kind of cabin fever that you would expect on a submarine. It never really felt like that.
Okay.
You were too busy to notice, really.
Okay. So how realistic would you gauge Das Sport to be? We just take an example. If you've ever seen that.
The film.
Yes.
I probably have, but I can't remember the film right now. But a lot of the films from like the 70s and 80s that talked about submarines actually got a lot of it very accurate. They might take some liberties, but a lot of the time, the war movies you watch with the submarines on it, they're very realistic as to what they depict. And it seems like life on a submarine can be quite boring because there's a lot of maybe floating around, not doing much.
Yeah, because I mean. Everything crammed in a small space and being claustrophobic and the cabin fever, all that. I think that comes very much from Das Sport. But then again, that's depicting the atmosphere in a submarine during World War II. And
exactly. It would have been a lot more cramped and a lot louder. Modern day subs are a lot, like I said, a lot bigger. There's a lot more to do. You've got even entertainment rooms and stuff, and The subs are big enough that there'd be people that you don't ever see. If your duties don't intersect, there'd be some people that you would never bump into, even on like a T-boat rather than compared to a V-boat, which is a lot bigger. They're that big that you can be, they're bigger than it would give you when you watch a movie that shows like a World War II submarine. It's not like that, especially not modern ones, really. No.
No, okay. What happened since you went from the Navy to becoming a YouTuber?
Oh, so much. So I got injured and then came out, and I didn't really know what to do because I'd never had a plan afterwards. So I joined Scottish and Southern Energy as a manager in their call centers, and did that for a while before I got my job working as a wind farm developer for a country called Enertrag. And I did that for a while. Helped develop some wind farms around Scotland, but my injury got worse and I ended up having to stop that. And I tried a few other jobs, but the injuries got worse and worse, and I couldn't end up working, and then ended up on benefits. And then thought, you know what, YouTube looks fun. I can try. I've got a lot of time on my hands. I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. So I did, and for some reason it worked. And now it's the best thing ever, and I love doing it. I have so much fun doing the streams, interacting with the people that watch my stuff. Seeing that people enjoy what I do, it make I feel overjoyed, and I don't have to rely on government handouts because I can do it myself, and I love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome that you were able to, well, if not escape the benefits. I mean, I think it's so cool that you found a way to sustain yourself, even though you were on benefits, and yeah. That's very impressive and really something that, well, cheers to that anyway.
Yeah, let's drink to that, definitely. I don't think I could ever go back to doing a normal job working for someone else. I like being my own boss too much.
But why flat Earth? Was that just what was popular at the time that you decided to go on YouTube?
That's what had piqued my interest at the time, to be honest. I've got degrees, that I wasn't using that knowledge, and I kind of saw flat Earth, and I looked into it more, and I was like, goodness me, there's flat Earth channels. And then saw the anti-flat Earth channels like Simon Dan and stuff, and I was like to my wife, Emma, look at this, look at these people that think the Earth's flat. And she's like, well, you just stop talking to me about it. But I'm like, it's really funny. And she's like, I don't care, just go make your own YouTube channel or something. I was like, all right, I will. So.
Wonderful, cool,
yeah,
right.
I mean, my wife and I we'd had a YouTube channel before, not like we hadn't done it for financial gain or anything, but we've done it together because my wife and I have got a passion that we share for gaming. So we'd started a gaming channel together called Married to Xbox that we did for like a year and a half, and that was a lot of fun. But then we'd had to move house, and we kind of stopped doing that. And then using those skills that I learned with that first YouTube channel, it made me able to start the new YouTube channel. Right. And now here I am.
Yeah. So you kind of came. You've kind of come a long way. I mean, you were, if not one of the first, then still at the forefront, I'd say, in the flat Earth debunking community. So why don't you try to take us back to the very first videos you made? Do you still remember what they were about, and how much attention did they get?
Well, the very first scripted video I did was actually a response to Logan Paul going to the Flat Earth International Conference in 2018 and saying that he thought he was a flat earther. And he did that little speech on stage about him coming out of the flat Earth closet. And I thought, I need to do a quick response to that. So I sat in front of my flowery wallpaper that I had because we just moved into the house. And just recorded what is now, when I look back at it, one of the worst things that I'd ever recorded. It's cringy to watch. But that was kind of the big thing in Flat Earth at the time. So I quickly did that. And it had I think about 5,000 views in total.
Okay, that's impressive for a first scripted video, I'd still say.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hanging around the channels quite a lot and talking to conspiracy cats and getting involved in the debates and stuff. And I think they helped promote it. And then Simon Dan mentioned my channel on his channel, and it instantly kicked off that video. And then one of the very next things I did was an interview with an ex-flat earther, which Simon Dan then did a video about. Right. And I instantly gained about 8,000 or 9,000 subscribers because of that.
Okay. So you were kind of lucky with the people who discovered you at an early stage.
Yeah, I'd say I got a lot to thank Simon Dan for.
So that's a different thing. You've made a couple of interviews with ex-flat earthers, and one of the questions that you hear people ask a lot specifically ask flat Earth debunkers a lot is, do flat earthers really believe that the Earth is flat?
Okay, so my personal opinion is that out of all the flat earthers that there are on YouTube, on Facebook, and everything, only about 25% of them are legitimately flat earthers. The rest are just trolls looking for attention.
Trolls, yeah, trolls looking for attention. Do you think they go for any financial gains as well?
I think
is there a
some
lot
of
of
them
money?
do. Look at Nathan Oakley. He's definitely not a flat earther. He's basically said it outright. But he couldn't now stop what he's doing because his channel supports him financially, kind of like mine does, you know. And you know what? Fair play. If that's what he does and it works and he supports him financially, he's worked hard for his channel. Even if he is a complete and utter fucking asshat and doesn't deserve the platform that he's been afforded, you know, he has worked to grow that platform, and he's got enough gullible idiots that will give him super chats that he's able to support himself. But I don't for a second think that Nathan Oakley thinks the Earth is flat. And I think if they're able to start scrounging a living out of it, then why would they stop? There is some that legitimately think the Earth is flat. I think like Nathan Thompson, who just happens to also be a deplorable pile of human feces. So,
and there was it Ranty who came out as a
good old Ranty? Yeah. Recently, he was the sixth interview an ex-flat earther that I did, and he had been talking to conspiracy cats for a while. They started a podcast together, and then Ranty saw this picture.
Right. Yeah.
And then another flat earther, Bev, #thanks Bev, went and recreated this photo, and said, "Oh yeah, it's always like that." And Ranty at first was like, "Oh, well, look at all those mountains you can see in the distance. Earth's obviously flat." But then he did the math based on the photo, and he came to the conclusion himself, based on what he looked at, that it was impossible on a flat Earth. So he kind of went to Cats and he was like, "Well, what do you think? Because I think this shows the Earth's a globe." And Cat's like, "I think you're right." And it basically convinced Ranty that the Earth's a globe, with the fact that a flat earther went there and confirmed that it's like this pretty much all the time. Well, yeah, it's more than just a black swan, isn't it? It's how it is most of the time, and it's not possible if the Earth is flat.
No,
yeah, that's right. In the chat, let's get some #thanks Bevs in there.
Yeah, and it's interesting that it was that specific photo which convinced him, because I have a suspicion that there would have been many other photos before that one, which would be proving the round Earth just as well as that one.
There is a few, and I questioned him about it, like this famous one from Miles Davis, which is literally just down the road from me. But he didn't have as much faith in this one because it's directly over water. You're not. He wasn't at ground level. It wasn't as clear, and he thought that his sinking theory would explain this. But the evidence in this one was just a lot clearer to him.
Right.
Well, and I kind of understand. To me, this one is pretty definitive. This is one of the best ones for me that show that the Earth just cannot be flat.
Right.
But whatever conclusion Ranty got to, I think it's great, and I think he's being genuine about it.
Yeah, sure. I think so too. So if I could just see the picture with the bridge again, because I haven't seen that before, I think. So how does that prove that the Earth is round?
So this is done by Miles Davis. It's taken from top of a mountain just up the road from me, and he is at 210 meters above sea level. The bridge there is of the Forth Road Bridge, and the middle tower, according to the engineering specifications, is also 210 meters above sea level. So you've got the camera and the top of that bridge at 210 meters. So you've got a tangent line of sight. Those mountains in the background are about 70 kilometers away, just east of Edinburgh. And they're all about 500 meters above sea level. So if the Earth was flat, they should be twice as high as that red line. Perspective cannot make things fall below a tangent line of sight. It would go into it, not below it.
Of course they can't. Yeah, sure. I completely understand. The reason why it wasn't that picture that convinced him, as you said, the newer picture is more clear.
Yeah.
Well, Miles Davis' photo, though it shows what it does quite clearly, it's still not as clear. Well, from a quality perspective, if you like. As the more recent picture. Anyway,
I mean,
what do you
I don't
think?
want to speak for Ranty, obviously, but from my understanding, it's also the fact that Bev was able to go back there and get the same image,
Right.
all the time. It was the combination of the fact that the maths showed that it was impossible on the flat Earth, and the fact that a flat earther says that, yeah, that's what it looks like all the time. Again, I don't want to speak for Ranty, but I'm pretty sure that's his position.
Right. So a couple of people have been criticizing you, flat Earth debunkers. First, you were criticized
How dare
for
they?
Yeah, well, for going after low hanging fruit.
Yeah, I kind of get it. The flat Earth is the internet's pet rock, basically. And it is pretty low hanging fruit, but it's infinitely fucking funny.
I completely agree.
I think that's what drew me to it. It is the absolute ridiculousness of people being so serious about something like the Earth being flat. I mean, for years I was a massive fan of Terry Pratchett's Discworld. I've read everything that Terry Pratchett ever wrote. I was the original owner of the Discworldwiki.org. I created that. And then to think that, wait, there's people that actually think that something like this is real. It blew my mind. And I think that's why I like doing it, because it's so completely and utterly ridiculous that it's just entertaining. And I don't feel bad mocking people that are willfully ignorant and intellectually dishonest over and over and over,
but do you think there's more to it than just entertainment? Do you think that the fight against the flat Earth is also an important fight somehow?
Yeah, because you get people like Nathan Thompson who will go to a school and shout at kids, which is a problem, because kids and people that aren't very intelligent, people that are vulnerable, disabled people, whatever, might not have the intellectual ability to dismiss the things that Nathan Thompson shouts at them in the street. And it might draw some people in. So, yeah, there is something important about having the correct information out there. Yeah, I'll do a video and call a flat earther a retard and the moron and stuff. And, but I also put correct science in there, so that if there is a flat earther that comes across it, they can see why what this flat earther is saying is so ridiculous. So it is important to have the correct information there to counter the nonsense that they will shout at random people in the street.
Right. So there's someone in the chat asking if you think Dell is a legitimate flat earther.
I genuinely haven't worked that out yet. He's one of the funniest people on the planet. I downloaded one of his streams that he did about a week and a half ago. And I don't even know where to start with the script. I could get 1,000 videos out of the stuff he was saying, honestly. If I could just play his stream back and people would just love it. It's like the best character of a flat earther that I could ever write. If someone said, right, Craig, go and write a sitcom and write a flat earther in that sitcom, Dell would be what you come up with,
Right.
But,
yeah.
But that's the thing about flat earth. So much of it is so ridiculous that when you have someone as ridiculous as Dell that will stand outside in the piss and rain in Glasgow, spray water on a ball from a hose pipe and say that proves the flat earth, you got to think, all right, is he being serious? Because flat earthers do say stuff that stupid. It's hard to differentiate. So I really don't know. But I've got, Dell is someone that's a bit difficult to write content for, because it's so ridiculous. I feel stupid responding to it,
Right. Did you see that he actually went to a Celtic match, football match, and tried to convince people that the Earth was flat?
Good one, bud. That's really going to make people happy, isn't it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. As much as I love Glasgow, and especially the way that people talk there. I mean, I lost my heart to Glasgow when I went there in 2000, and I went into a liquor store, and there was this bloke coming in singing a song, a pro Celtic song, and I'm a Celtic fan myself, and I patted him on the shoulder and said, "Oh, I'm from Denmark. I like Celtic United as well." And then he just started the patter, I guess is what it's called, and I did not understand one single word
you
he
just
said.
got to nod and go, "Yeah, pal, aye."
Yeah. I just hoped that I didn't accidentally nod at the wrong time, and I'd get beat up or something. And apparently I didn't, because then he just went on his way, patted me on the shoulder and said "great one" or something like that. So there was one or two words that I did actually understand, and I was kind of very, very relieved. And that's where I completely lost my heart to Glasgow, because I guess it was English somehow that he spoke to me, but I couldn't understand one word of it.
There's definitely some bits of English in there. Like, I live in Fife, and I've been there for 12 years now, and still sometimes I get confused talking to people because they just say things wrong.
Right.
Like they don't say the word "no" as in "no." Oh yeah, I know. They say "I can."
Okay.
And sometimes I'm like, who's Ken? Why are you people talking about Ken? And some people, instead of saying the letter J, they say Jai, which isn't a letter. So you'll ask, how do you spell that? And they'll be like, blah 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 Jai. Sorry, what? Is that an I? A Y? No, Jai. Sorry, what? What? That's not a letter. Are you just making stuff up?
Right. Hen, by the way, I think that's a Danish word. And there are a lot of Danish words in Scots, like Kerk, for example, and Bern. So Ken is the Danish word kende, which means know, but to know someone. However, are you familiar with the German language?
A little bit, mainly from my interactions with Gersteiber.
Yeah, so there's a.
Oh, I just want to say hi to Elizabeth S in the chat. How you doing?
Of course. Hey, Elizabeth. So in German, you've got the distinction between wissen, to know, and kennen, also to know. So you don't have that distinction in English, but we have the same distinction in Danish. And the word for kennen in German is almost the same. And I think that has found its way into Scots, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I'm about to say is history that I know based on playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But a lot of the Danish language came over to the UK when the Vikings came over and colonized a lot of the east of England and Scotland. So yeah, a lot of the Danish language did slip into more so up north, because the Vikings stayed up north longer. They were fought out of England sooner than they were out of Scotland. So a lot of the Danish language did slip into the Scottish vernacular.
I even heard about some. This is anecdotal, but I heard about a Danish girl being an au pair in Scotland.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. In England, and for school they had to read. Is it Lord Byron who was from Scotland? Some Scots poet.
Right.
And she had great trouble reading that, but so this Danish pair looks at the text and says, "Oh, all these words that you don't know, they're actually Danish."
Yeah.
Does it make sense if that means this and this means that, and then it all made sense all of a sudden. So there is in the actual Scots dialect, whatever you want to call it, there are remains of Danish, which I kind of like.
Yeah. Like I said, most of my history of the Danes comes from playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So as far as I know, you're bloodthirsty Vikings that just kill everybody. Is that still true? I'm not sure.
Nah, not really. No, the Vikings, the actual bloodthirsty Vikings. Those were the ones who went to Ireland and England and Scotland and to Iceland, and all the people who stayed behind, mostly peasants. Those are the ones that Danes are actually descended from.
Yeah.
However,
everyone else off and got killed.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, personally, my parents were actually German, so I don't really count.
Right, fair enough.
As much as I may look like a Viking, I mean, people have told me that, but may drink like one as well. Okay, so let me see. So basically, and this is not the first time this has happened, but many of the questions that I actually have, we have kind of already been through them. So let me just have a minute to look at what we are missing from the script that I made, and maybe another. In the meantime, we could take another question from the chat. If and I don't know if I said this, but tag Godless Scummer. Sorry. Tag Godless Scummer if you have questions for Craig. That's how we'll make sure that all your questions are being answered and seen by me. So I would want to ask you. We were talking about the fight against the flat Earth being an important fight.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theory of the flat Earth will often bring other conspiracy theories with it, and I'm thinking now that we've got pandemic and all this, but we've also finally got vaccines in the
yeah.
So do you get your shot yet?
2 weeks time.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I get my zombie virus. I'm just wondering how, once you've got it, how do you turn on the 5G chips? Is there like a magnet you need to use, or?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think my son is a lot into computers, and so is my stepson. He's actually studying computer science. So I'm going to get him to hack it, so that I can take control of it.
Yeah, good idea.
Once I get my shot, which is going to be on the 13th of June. Finally, but
wait, that's the same day I've got mine, I think. 13th of June, yeah, Sunday, 13th of June. Cool. We're getting our zombie virus chips on the same day.
Yes, we are. That's good.
That means we'll have the same activation code. Nice.
Right. Yes. Yes. Anyway, but the anti-vax conspiracy seems to be very common amongst flat earthers.
Yeah.
So how do you have any thoughts on how these conspiracies tend to follow each other?
Yeah.
If you,
my thoughts are that when you believe in a conspiracy, especially something like the flat Earth, one of the main things that you kind of have to believe is that everyone's lying to you. Everyone is lying to you. Every pilot, every boat captain, every teacher, every doctor, everyone, every politician, everyone in government, every map maker, they're all lying to you. And to think that everyone is lying to you, of course, every conspiracy theory is going to make sense. Of course, the vaccines are going to be a lie, because why would they tell you the truth about the vaccines? Of course, 5G is going to be bad, because why would the government try and do something good to help our communication technology? You have to believe that everyone is lying to you, which leaves you open to the fact that every conspiracy is probably true because we're all being lied to about everything.
Right. Yeah, so it follows quite neatly, actually.
Yeah. And that's why I say it's kind of dangerous to kids, because to teach a kid that everything's a lie, that everyone's lying to you, is a really dangerous mindset to give a child. As they're developing, to just think that everything they're being told by everyone is a lie is not a good way of having their brains work,
Nope.
So it's part of the conspiracy mindset, especially flat Earth, that everything's a lie, so every other conspiracy is most likely true.
Yeah. I can see how that works. What I wanted to ask you, what kind of pushback have you experienced from the flat Earth community? How have they come after you, so to say?
Well, for a while, I was paying attention to the amount of videos about me by flat earthers. I lost count at around 3,000. So there's a large portion of YouTube now dedicated to hating me, which means, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing my job well. I have had one flat earther turn up at my door.
Really?
Yeah, and then leave a note in my back garden about trying to debunk submarine sonar. So there's that. I was in I was in the New Level movie by Eric Dubay. You know, a lot of the flat earthers talk about me, and there is probably tens of thousands of memes about me by flat earthers, but all the hate that I get from the flat earthers is just evidence that I'm doing my job well, I think.
Because, but there was actually one trying to get to you face to face. Am I getting that right?
Bill the biker, yeah, a constant flirt that hangs around my comment section, who always says, "I've never said I'm a flat earther," but he's clearly a flat earther. He's a sleeping warrior-ite who says that he wants to come and meet me face to face to have a debate.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not really, keen on meeting psychopathic people that think the Earth is flat face to face. That's you're going to be crazy if you think that. So I don't really want to be near you. But I've told him that if he comes to my channel and proves he can act like an adult, then maybe I'll arrange something once I get security.
Right. Okay, so you, but you said someone came to your doorstep.
Yeah. So we had a knock on the door and answered the door, and there's a woman there, and she looked crazy enough. And there was a guy standing at the end of the garden path, holding the dog on a lead. And the woman said, "Did you call the police on me?" I was like, "What?" She's like, "The police came around and said that you called the police on me." And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then the guy that was standing at the end of the garden path just started shouting about the Earth not being flat. And I was like,
shouting about the Earth not being round, I guess.
Not being round, yeah, sorry, about the Earth. Yeah, about the Earth being flat, not being round. And I was like, what is going on here? And they both kind of toddled off down the street, like shouting crazy stuff. And I've got a bumper sticker on my car that says, not flat, we checked, with a NASA logo, right? So I think that this flat earther guy has seen it walking past, and he's gone to his missus, "Go chap on that door and pretend there's a reason to talk to him so I can shout at them about the flat Earth." And then the next day there was a note left on my table in my back garden, talking about sonars on submarines. And I'm like, well, he's just come back and left that in my garden. I'm going to get some security cameras. Then I bought my Ring security cameras.
Wow. So
yeah,
so it was, that's a bit too close for comfort, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then there was the issue with Mr. Cheswick, was it?
Oh, Mr. Cheswick.
Yeah, he made a little tune about you, as far as
I think he's made 3 songs about me, and I think they're awesome, including my outro music.
Yes,
he made that. So yeah, that I'll forever be thankful for him for making my awesome outro music for me, trying to mock me. As soon as I heard that, I was like, you know what? I'm having that.
Yes. I remember the video. I specifically remember the video that you made about that. And I tell you, I was literally on the floor laughing about you using that as your outro after that.
And I've used it in every video since. It's just perfect. It's like it's a banging dance track. I'm like, yeah, that's amazing.
Yes, it is. So who would you say is your least favorite flat earther?
My least favorite flat earther. I mean, I don't really like any of them. But I think someone like Right the Hand, who is just a trolly piece of human garbage.
Right the Hand. That's a weird name, by the way. What's that even mean?
I don't know. I call him Left the Foot.
Good.
Do you know the story of Right the Hand?
No.
So he's an internet troll called Kyle Kweski or something. And before he was into the flat Earth scene, he was trolling women quite often. And he did a video saying that women shouldn't be MMA fighters or do any martial arts because women aren't designed to fight. And even a woman at her peak couldn't beat an out of shape man. And it's unsafe and stupid that women are fighters. So a female MMA star, what's her name? Tara something, quite a famous female MMA star, challenged him to a fight. And then he got his ass whooped on camera,
Wonderful.
which was fucking hilarious. She pinned him and made him tap out twice. It was beautiful. Might even have a picture of it here. Oh no, I deleted it. But yeah, so and then for some reason he became a flat Earth, I think because he realized he could troll with that as well.
Right.
But he's also like an anti-masker and and anti-vaxxer and he's homophobic and anti-LGBTQ and just a genuine piece of human trash.
Right. So well, it'll get you attention to be a human piece of trash, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so got another question, and kind of in the same way. So someone is asking, who is the worst flat earther, Nathan Thompson or Sleeping Warrior?
Oh, well, both of them are really good flat earthers in the sense that they're both excellent examples of what flat earth is. Lying pieces of trash that, are pretty much disgusting human people. Sleeping Warrior, the language he uses is just deplorable most of the time. And Nathan Thompson, like I said, literally shouts at kids while they're at school and shouts at NASA employees in Starbucks. So they're both really, really good flat earthers in the sense that they're excellent examples of piles of actual human feces.
Would you rate one as worse than the other?
I don't know, but I'd like to see them fight to the death.
Right. Okay. So what I think about Sleeping Warrior, what really annoys me about him is that he gives everyone with a good taste in music a bad name.
Oh yeah, how dare he have an Iron Maiden poster? How dare he?
And Faith No More. Faith No More and The Doors. A lot of good bands on his wall, and he is such a crappy person. That's so awful.
I know. I just can't. He's got the Trooper. He's got the poster from the Trooper.
Yes.
On, and I'm like, no, just stop it. Bruce Dickinson is crying.
Yes.
You're giving Nico McBrain an aneurysm. Make it stop. I mean, Bruce Dickinson is a pilot. He knows for a fact the Earth's fucking a globe. Nico McBrain's got like 3 PhDs.
Wow. Yeah.
These people know the Earth's not flat. How dare he?
That's really awful. That's what really annoys me. What really bugs me about him. Okay, let's see. Just let's. So I don't have much more, but let's get into your channel as it kind of developed and what it has developed into, because you used to be criticized for going for low-hanging fruit. Now you're being criticized, as I understand it, to kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel. Has it become more difficult to find material to make anti-flat Earth videos about?
So I've had 526 flat Earth debates.
Wow.
So finding opponents for debate is becoming harder because I'm not only at the bottom of the barrel, I've started digging towards China.
Right.
I hunt Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and Reddit for flat earthers to debate, and most of them are just the dumbest of the dumb. You find the odd golden gem, but debates are really hard to set up because I've had so many, and so many are like, "Oh, I'm not coming back because you just embarrassed me." I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Well, actually, no, you embarrassed yourself, but some keep coming back. Right. Like Hippie will come back constantly to be embarrassed, but because I have to find so many new people, it does get difficult. But to make videos about, I don't think I'll ever run out. I've got a folder with maybe 1,000 videos that I could debunk. you know, and I start writing a
Well,
script for one, but then Sleeping Warrior released a new video. I'm like, no, I've got to cover that instead. And I've got like, you know, probably 30 or 40 half-written scripts ready to go, ready to finish, based on, you know, that I was like, oh, someone's brought out some more stupid. There's always so much more stupid being pumped out that I don't think I'll ever run out of content. Flat Earth is never going to die because, well, think about how stupid the average person is, right? And then remember that half the world are dumber than.
Right.
So, you know, I'm fine.
Okay. Cool. But you've I mean, apart from the debates, you've made this quiz show that I really like.
Yeah. Stupidity is not all right. I really have a lot of fun doing that. It's a very, very hard show to put on. Having to have so many people in the call, doing all the camera angles, all the research for the questions and stuff.
Right.
And I can't do it on my own. I've got two producers to help me with it. I've got my wife Emma, who actually sits next to me just down here, using the Stream Deck to control the camera angles and the sound effects and everything and the music. Then I've got Fashanti, who behind the scenes helps organize guests and does some research on some of the questions and stuff. It's a lot to put on that show, which is why I'm limiting it to 15 episodes for a series and just one series a year. So it's some of the you know, it's going to be kind of seasonal, which means it's good for me because I don't have to do that every week because it's a lot of work to do. So I can concentrate on putting other content out. But it's also something to look forward to on the channel. You know, it's getting to that time of year. Oh yeah, new season of Stupidity is not all right. And then I can do like Christmas specials and Halloween specials and stuff. And it's a format that I think really works really well. And I'm really proud of how it's come out.
It is. I mean, it does feel like a completely professional quiz show. It really does.
Thank you. That's what I wanted. I want people to watch it and feel like they've watched the TV show. You know.
Yes, but you do, and I mean, I love recognizing the guests. Oh, I'm following those guys, and now you've put them in a studio together.
Yeah,
and I think that works really, really well. And I just love to see good content creators, being together.
Yeah, I've had over 20 people on. I've had 20 different content creators and community members on this season so far. And I've got 3 episodes left, starting again next week. I took a little bit of time off after my concussion. So I'm starting again next week to do the last 3 episodes, and I've got a lot of good people coming on, like Mr. Sensible, Creaky, Simon Dan, Conspiracy Cats, hopefully Greater Sapien. The last few episodes should be a lot of fun.
Sure. I'll definitely look forward to that. So, have you ever experienced being recognized in real life?
A couple of times, yes. In my village, someone's recognized me when I was at the shops. But I think that's because a friend of a friend was like, oh, you know, look at this person. So they knew someone that I knew anyway, and then they recognized me because of that.
Right.
And then I'd been recognized in a McDonald's once. You know, it does feel weird.
But I mean, you deserve it. I mean, as long as it's not, it's not. I think we really do. So what let's just see if there are any more questions in the chat. So if you have any more questions, do put them in the chat. Tag Scummer, of course. Thank you, Scummer, for moderating. As far as I can see, you've done a great job. I haven't seen any awful comments. I must admit I haven't looked that much into the comments. I've been concentrating on talking to you, Craig. But if there are any questions here at the very end, do put them up. Let's just see if there's anything else I kind of skipped or anything like that. Yeah, do you? I mean, if you dare say so yourself, I mean, cut yourself some slack. Be proud of who you are now, and love yourself for what you're doing. Do you think you had a hand in getting getting Flat Earth into decline?
I would like to think so. I've had, and this isn't bolstering, but I've had thousands of emails from people saying that they were a flat earther or were thinking about the flat earth, saw my videos and aren't anymore. Right. And I don't think there's many flat earthers who kind of don't know who I am. And, you know, my videos have had millions of views. So I would like to think that I have helped in the downfall of flat earth being looked at as anything approaching serious.
Right.
You know, I think I may have helped flat earth become popular, but only as a thing to, you know, poke and laugh at, you know?
Yeah. Elizabeth, sorry, now I can't speak. Elizabeth asks me to tell you that you're awesome.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. You're awesome as well. It is really good to see someone like Elizabeth who has been supporting my channel since the very beginning in so many chats that I come along. So, Elizabeth, thank you for all the support you've given my channel.
Cool. Do you think Eric Dubay is for real?
He is a liar and a con man. In the few videos I've done about him, I've quite clearly caught him out in telling blatant lies. And in the video that I'm doing at the moment, I've got an Eric Dubay lie counter that I've added to it. So he definitely is a liar and a con man. But does he think the Earth's flat? I'm not sure. I think he's stupid enough to think that. But I think he's enough of a con man that he could be lying about it.
Okay, cool. Right, Craig, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. This is the first drink I've had in a while because I had concussion and I wasn't supposed to drink. So this is the first one I've had in a while. And even though it's only one bottle, it has gone to my head a little bit.
Okay, yeah, but so did mine. It's been a fantastic conversation with you, Craig. I'm so happy that you wanted to spend a bit of your time on my humble channel.
Thank you for inviting me.
I mean, anytime. I mean, if I ever have every now and then I have an open stream, and you will always be welcome, of course. So, thank you once again for visiting my channel. Thank you, thanks to everyone in the chat. Thank you, Godless Scummer, for moderating. And I tried reading. Let me just put this up, just as a let me see. There. I tried reading Dubay's book. I got 6 pages in, and my head couldn't take anymore. Yeah,
is that the kid's book, or I know he's written an adult's book and a kid's book. Both of them are pretty hard to get through.
Yeah, I could imagine. One of them, I guess. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to close down the stream now, and well, Craig, I hope we'll get time to have a chat another time.
Yeah, and, I hope so as well.
Last thing I want to say is always remember to drink responsibly. And until next time, cheers. Craig, do you have some final words?
Oh, thank you for having me on. Absolutely fantastic to come and have a conversation with you. If you guys would like to come and see me debate someone later, in about 4 hours, I'm debating Flat Earth Saint. And then tomorrow or the next day, I'll have out episode 57 of Flirfs Are Idiots.
The thing that you always say at the end of your videos. Let's hear it. Yeah.
Stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.
Cheers.